Yeah, it's recording. Quick one for you today. I shared Brian Stavely's video in the community post about blimps and their prevalence and abundance in World War II, which he claims is a Mandela effect, and I would agree with him. I know that they were used in the previous reality, that they were present, blimps, but the sheer numbers of blimps that were used in warfare during World War II is strange and astonishing. And it also relates to one of the most bizarre Mandela effects of all, and that is the Hindenburg disaster. That particular disaster, in my perception, flip flopped several times in terms of the outcome of that disaster. One of the original memories that I and many others have is that there were no survivors on the Hindenburg disaster. For those of you who don't remember, this was one of the largest blimps in the world, and it was carrying 90 passengers, and it crashed in a field in New Jersey in 1933 in a massive fireball engulfed in flames. One of the most famous videos in the world, seen 500 million times by countless people, of that blimp being engulfed in a massive fireball. And once you see that fireball, I encourage you to go watch it again and see for yourself how it's even remotely possible to survive such a thing. It seems completely ludicrous, actually, especially since the passengers on the blimp were on the bottom in this, whatever they call the container that they hold the passengers in. And it was not hardly even visible, engulfed in a ball of flames. So currently, there was 35 people that died out of a total of 90 passengers. So the majority of the passengers survived that disaster. But when I say it flip-flopped, I remember that it was also like 70 people dying a couple of years ago. That was the official narrative. 60 or 70 people dying, and Brian talks about this as well in his video. So these flip-flop Mandela effects are especially fascinating to me. One of the famous ones, of course, being Fruit Loops, constantly going back and forth. But I'm really bothered at this point in time by the Hindenburg, because there was for sure no survivors. In the original story, there was no survivors that survived a disaster of that magnitude. And I understand people could survive miraculous things. Even my mom, a long time ago, got into a catastrophic car crash without even getting a scratch, really. And that kind of thing does happen, but it just seems so unlikely once you see this massive fireball and that catastrophic crash, how it's possible for even one person to make it out of that, especially when it's related to fire. When you have fire related incidents, you have the most casualties, and that's a statistical fact. So why is it flip-flopping? Why that specific event? Why is it flip-flopping? What is special about that event? What do you think? And speaking of Brian Stavely, Nathan Sanders, who often watches my channel, was recently a guest on Brian Stavely's channel, and they were discussing the Mandela effect. I did share it in the community post, and they had a fantastic interview that I highly encourage you check out. So I did share it quite a while ago, so I might have to share it again if anyone wants. So take it easy.